The family bought a villa, with Dad pulling my sister along and Mom carrying the dog as they moved in. I dragged my luggage, carefully following behind them, but I was still blocked from entering. "There's no room for you here, go back to the old house. The air on the 30th floor is good for you, and it's better for your health." Just like in my previous life, my parents wanted to send me back to the old house. In my previous life, I broke down in tears, pleading to stay, but instead, my parents locked me in the basement of the villa for reflection. Soon after, a torrential rain that lasted for 2 months flooded the entire city, and I drowned in the basement. My parents, however, took my sister and escaped back to the old house, avoiding disaster. "All right, I'll go back to the old house right away. I wish my parents and sister a happy life. In this life, I will stock up on food and keep the door closed. You all, don't think about coming in. Show you, put down your luggage. You will go back to the old house to live. The air is better on the 30th floor, more suitable for you." My dad stood at the villa's entrance and pointed to the nearby high-rise buildings. We previously lived in room 3001 of building 15, which was on the top floor, a 5-minute walk from the villa area. During this 5-minute journey, I remained silent on the surface, but my heart was in turmoil, because I was reborn on the day we moved. On this day, I broke down in tears over not being able to move into the villa, accusing my parents of their favoritism over the years. They are so biased, their eyes only on my 15-year-old sister. Even the dog she raises is more precious than I am. The dog can bark freely, but I must always maintain my proper identity. This time moving, my identity is that of a laborer, and I am the one busy throughout. I went back and forth, exhausted and panting, my already frail body almost unable to stand upright. Where is my sister? She is at home enjoying the air conditioning, playing with the dog, and once everything is settled, she happily rushes to the villa. Dad is still joyfully holding her hand, while Mom is holding her dog. I drag my heavy luggage, following behind them like an unnecessary clown. So, when my parents asked me to move back to the 30th floor, I completely broke down. The fuse ignited the powder keg. I cried and cursed, venting my frustrations while trying to awaken a shred of love from my parents, but all that could be awakened was their anger and humiliation. They threw me into the basement of the villa, locked me up viciously, and threatened to let me out only when I had reflected on my actions. My younger sister, Sho-chin, deliberately asked me through the door, "Sister, why are you so angry?" "It's just that they won't let you go to university. It's just that no one cares about you while you're in the hospital. It's just, oh, there are too many things, I've forgotten them all." I gripped the iron gate, my nails drawing blood. Extreme anger and sorrow made me retch continuously. I can't understand why this is happening. Is it just because I have never liked to talk since I was young, and I don't know how to make people happy? But I've been doing everything. Almost all the work in this house besides making money has been done by me. I've already taken on a lot of hardships for my parents. Why can't I stay in the new house for a while? Am I not a member of your family? I collapsed to the ground in a blur of tears, and when I came to, there was thunder and lightning outside, and the rain was pouring down. I thought it was just an ordinary rainstorm, but little did I know that this storm was getting heavier and heavier, as the rainwater seeped into the basement. I screamed in terror in the dark. "Dad, Mom," my dad responded to me, standing on the stairs outside the door, scolding me, "Shut up, your sister is scared and crying. We don't have time for you. Keep reflecting on yourself. Water is coming in, water is coming in." My shoes were already soaked, with such heavy rain. Isn't it normal for water to come in, just soak there? The expert said this rain is strange. It might last for 2 months. It's best to drown you, you worthless thing. My mom threatened me, then went to comfort Sho-chin. By 3 or 4 in the morning, the entire basement was almost flooded. I was soaked all over, and the water had risen to my chest. I was struggling to breathe, desperately banging on the iron door, shouting for help over and over, but clearly, things outside were also in chaos. The villa must be flooded everywhere. Fortunately, Mom and Dad arrived. Damn it, where's the door? Show you, where are you? My dad waded through the water looking for me. "I'm here, Dad, I'm here." I cried tears of joy. My dad finally found the door, and there was a small hole in it. He shouted through the hole, "Do you have the key to the old house? Hurry and give it to me." I had no time to think, so I fished the key to the old house out of my pocket and handed it out. My dad grabbed it and shouted, "Honey, hold on to Xiao-Qin tight. We're going back to the old house first. This rain is too strange. Let's hope it doesn't really last for 2 months." He turned around and left. I was stunned in the water, crying out loudly, "Dad, open the door. The water pressure is too heavy. I can't open it." My dad didn't even turn his head, not even trying. The small hole was soon submerged as well. I cried out in the water. As the water level rose higher and higher, I could no longer breathe. I took a deep breath, my arm veins bulging, lowering my head and saying nothing, although I was reborn. Recalling the events of that night still sent my heart into spasms of terror. "Are you mute? I told you to put down your luggage and go back to the old house. Don't you understand?" My dad shouted angrily when he saw I was still silent. He has always been like this. He would explode in anger whenever something didn't go his way, especially towards me. I took a step back, slowly raised my head, and forced myself to smile. "Okay, Dad, I'll go back to the old house now. I won't disturb you." My dad snorted coldly, turned his face, and affectionately ruffled Xiao-Qin's hair. Born of the same mother, how can the difference be so great? The younger sister is lively and cute, while the elder sister is like a dead person. Just looking at her is annoying. "Oh, Dad, don't say that about my sister. She's just practical. She doesn't like to talk." Xiao-Qin smiled, showing her dimples, seemingly defending me, but actually feeling quite pleased. She enjoyed her parents' pampering for many years. "Come inside quickly. Don't mind show you. It's so hot outside. You don't want to overheat, are you?" Mom, holding the teddy dog, are you, strode into the house. The three of us happily moved into the new home, no longer casting a glance my way. I tightened my grip on the old house key in my pocket, and my tense heart slowly began to relax. I no longer seek familial affection. What I seek is life. The 30th floor of the old house is my life. In the rush of moving, everyone in the family forgot their keys, but I brought mine. This key will be the life of everyone. I turned and walked away, feeling a strange sense of exhilaration inside, but I remained calm. I knew that tonight a bizarre downpour would arrive. It was enough to destroy the entire villa. Moreover, experts predicted that it could last for 2 months, putting the entire neighborhood's lower levels in jeopardy. My 30-story-old building is actually the safest, because no matter how heavy the rain, it can't possibly flood 30 stories, right? So, all I need to do is stock up on enough food, then lock the doors and windows, and I can live well. Determined, I immediately rushed to the supermarket near the community to shop like crazy. Unfortunately, I don't have much money, just the 300 yuan pocket money I secretly saved for a long time. I thought about buying as much food as possible, including instant noodles, bottled water, and ready-to-eat meals, but the money is really too little. If the heavy rain lasts for 2 months, I would be living in hunger even if I survive. Just as I was worrying, my mom sent me a transfer of 30,000 yuan. "Show you, my sister said the living room is too hot. You need to order a standing air conditioner right now and have it delivered immediately, or I'll kill you." Mom really loves my sister. I accepted the money and replied with a smile, "Sure." As soon as I turned my head, I went on a shopping spree. Considering that there will be water and electricity outages during the heavy rain, I try to buy supplies that can be consumed directly: 10 boxes of instant noodles, 6 boxes of mineral water, 8 boxes of compressed dry food, 10 packs of beef jerky, and 200 portions of self-heating food. In addition, I packed all sorts of snacks, including bagged chicken legs, duck heads, spicy fish, and so on, filling up a total of 18 bags with the supermarket's largest bag. I also didn't overlook sweet potatoes, corn, radishes, and apples, packing them into bags. Since the supermarket can help with delivery, the more, the better. These can provide vitamins and can be stored for a relatively long time. After a flurry of activity, I was sweating profusely, shuttling back and forth between the supermarket and the old house without a moment's rest. Moreover, I was quite alert, not buying too many items at the same supermarket, but rather shopping in batches at different supermarkets, convenience stores, and fruit and vegetable shops. When it got dark, I hurried home again with a large bag of medicine. I made sure to get all the common medications like Filin, Tylenol, ibuprofen, and montmorillonite powder, so that I wouldn't be left without treatment when I get sick. Everything is taken care of, and I collapsed on the sofa, feeling as if I had just been pulled out of the water. I'm so tired that my temples are throbbing, but I still didn't let my guard down, forcing myself to continue thinking about whether I needed to buy any other supplies. A moment later, I sprang up from the sofa and set off shopping once again. This time, I bought 3 watermelon knives, each nearly half a meter long, for self-defense. In addition, I also ran around half the city to get pepper spray and a stun gun. With these, I am not afraid even when facing a burly man. The chaos of a torrential rainstorm is inevitable, although the security doors of the residential complex are nearly impossible to breach. I still take precautions just in case. A sense of security is so important. Just as I felt completely at ease, a few drops of rain fell on my head. In the distant sky, lightning danced like dragons and snakes, abruptly slicing through the night, accompanied by the thunderous roar of the earth, causing the entire land to tremble. It's raining. My heart trembled at the thought of the tragic scene from my past life when I drowned in the basement. That feeling was too unbearable. Taking advantage of the rain not yet intensifying, I hurried back home. The neighborhood was filled with residents out for a stroll, and some children deliberately played in the rain, joyfully shouting, "It's raining, it's raining." The high temperatures had persisted for half a month, so this rain was a welcome relief, but no one knew that this rain might last for 2 months. Even if it temporarily paused in between, no one could endure 2 months of intermittent heavy rain. I hid back in the house, locked the security door, and closed all the doors and windows. There is one good thing about high-rise apartments: their security is incredibly strong. Once the iron door is locked and the windows are shut, it can be considered isolated from the world. If outsiders want to get in, they can only do so by either a professional locksmith or by breaking in. Of course, I have lacked a sense of security since childhood, always feeling that it was not safe enough, so I filled all the buckets in the house with clean water and blocked the door with them. My family lives on the top floor, and there was a time when the water pressure was insufficient, so my parents bought 2 large buckets that I could even soak in to take a bath. These 2 large buckets, along with the other 3 small buckets, were all blocking the door, making it impossible for anyone to push it open even if they unlocked it. After doing all this, I finally relaxed, sat down on the sofa, and didn't want to move a finger. Just then, my mom sent me a message. I still didn't feel like moving, so she called me. I hit more than 10. I lazily answered the phone with my eyes closed, and my mom yelled, "Show you. Where have you been? I told you to buy an air conditioner. Did you not buy it? Useless thing. Your sister is about to die from the heat. Where's the air conditioner? Now it's raining again. Who is going to deliver the air conditioner?" My mom was clearly furious. After all, I didn't buy an air conditioner, didn't reply to messages, and didn't answer calls. This was unimaginable in the past. For some reason, I want to laugh. Suddenly, a feeling of exhilaration surged within me, so intense that every pore in my body opened up. I glanced at the increasingly heavy rain outside and smiled broadly. I didn't say anything, just smiled. "What are you laughing at? Are you crazy? I'm asking you, where's the air conditioning?" My mom was getting more and more agitated, and I could imagine her big mouth spraying saliva everywhere, but I just wouldn't say anything. "I don't want to say anything. Show you. Do you want to die? Are you deaf?" My dad snatched the phone, filled with threats and menace. If it were before, I would have been trembling in fear even through the phone, but now, my Parkinson's has been cured. "Don't worry, once my sister is hot enough, we won't need the air conditioning anymore." I gently offered my opinion. The other side was silent. My dad was clearly stunned. Then he shouted sharply, "Show you. What did you say?" I hung up the phone with a snap and stretched lazily before heading to take a shower. I'm afraid of suddenly losing power and not being able to take a hot shower, so I should shower early. I took a hot shower for a full hour, never feeling so content before, feeling the hot water glide over my skin. I even shed a tear. God knows how I used to shower, but if it lasted more than 10 minutes, my parents would definitely scold me for wasting water. They don't even allow me to use hot water, actually. My family isn't poor. What's wrong with me using a bit of hot water? They just can't stand me. After taking a shower, I feel refreshed. A glance outside revealed a world shrouded in darkness, with torrential rain pouring down, as if the entire world was covered by a black cloth that was continuously overflowing with water. I felt a surge of anxiety, so I simply pulled the curtains shut, then opened a box of self-heating food, paired it with spicy fish and chicken legs, and indulged in a hearty meal. My phone buzzed again. It was a message from the family group chat. I opened it to find my sister, Shou-Chin, messaging, "It's raining so heavily, Mom and Dad. I'm a bit scared. Can you come to my room? Don't be afraid, my good daughter. We're coming right over." Mom and Dad were always there, immediately coming to keep her company. Soon, Shou-Chin posted a selfie on her moments, showing their family of 3 holding their dog in the bedroom. It started pouring right after moving into the villa. What bad luck. Luckily, I have Mom and Dad with me, so I'm happy. Posting on moments wasn't enough. She also posted in the group chat, deliberately tagging me. "Sister, where are you? Are you scared? I heard you want to roast me to death, so you don't need to buy an air conditioner. Do you hate me that much?" I ignored it because the chicken leg was too delicious. "I am wildly showy," Shou-Chin continued to ask me. "Sister, I'm so scared even with my parents around. You must be even more scared alone in the old house, right?" Hehe. I just finished showing off, cleaned up the trash, and packed it into Shou-Chin's old room. I planned to turn Shou-Chin's room into a garbage dump. After all, the heavy rain might last for 2 months, and when the water and electricity are cut off, it will be difficult to deal with the trash. I can accumulate it for now and throw it downstairs when the rain stops. I specifically took a photo and sent it to the group, indicating that the trash was thrown into Shou-Chin's room. Her room is the largest and brightest, with walls covered in posters of her favorite stars. The empty bed looks very cute and beautiful. Unfortunately, it is now piled up with garbage. Shou-Chin went crazy on the spot. "What are you doing? Throwing trash into my room? It's raining. There's no way to deal with it. Just pile it up in your room for now, so it doesn't stink up the outside for me." I said it as a matter of course. Shou-Chin immediately called me on video, but I didn't answer. A moment later, my dad shouted in a voice message, "Shou-Yu, do you want to die? How dare you throw garbage into your sister's room?" My mom was also furious. "You crazy person, clean up your sister's room immediately, or I'll beat you to death." Hehe. I sent a smiley and turned off the screen. That night, I listened to the thunder and lightning, thinking I would be unable to sleep, but unexpectedly, I fell asleep immediately, and I slept more soundly than ever before. The terrifying sound of rain pounding against the window outside had become a lullaby. When I woke up, the sky was still gloomy, but it was already broad daylight. It should be around 10 in the morning, and the heavy rain continued without pause. The power at home was already out, but the 4G network was still functioning. The internet was naturally abuzz, with various experts coming out to explain, speculate, and debunk rumors. However, the most authoritative institutions predict based on meteorological charts that this strange rain may last for 2 months. I am prepared, so I am not anxious, but some people are anxious. My parents and younger sister, they panicked in the middle of the night, calling me several times, all asking me to open the door. Obviously, just like in the previous life, they sensed something was wrong in the middle of the night and rushed back to the old house. In my previous life, I was abandoned in the basement and drowned, while in this life, I lay comfortably in the old house, sleeping soundly. They knocked on the door all night, but I remained motionless. Even now, they are still knocking. I walked towards the door with a cold smile, hearing their voices. My dad weakly guessed, "Shiyu is at home. Did she leave last night? She has made us furious. She probably hid overnight to avoid us settling the score with her. She used to like hiding." My mom analyzed. "I do like to hide. After all, many times not hiding can get you killed. But now, I am not hiding, of course." I also didn't make a sound, just listened with a cold laugh. Shou-Chin hoarsely and painfully spoke up. "What should I do? I'm so tired, so hungry. Please open the door. We don't have any keys. And with this heavy rain, we can't find a locksmith." "Don't worry, my dear, Dad is here." My dad comforted Shou-Chin. Shou-Chin cried and cursed me. "It's all Shou-Yu's fault. How could she not leave the keys at the villa? I want to break her hands." Okay. break show use hands, don't cry, my dear. Mom was heartbroken. I feel like throwing up, but I held it back, to avoid wasting food. At this moment, the heavy rain suddenly lessened, and the sky brightened a bit. My dad was overjoyed. The rain is stopping. Let's go back to the villa, I told you. How could it possibly rain for 2 months? Then let's go back. Mom will cook for me. Shou-Chin stopped crying. My mom smiled and said, there are only a few pieces of dried noodles at home. Once the rain stops, we can go buy something delicious together. They walked away cheerfully. I knew they might have given up their only chance of survival. If they had stayed in the apartment building, they could have completely avoided being flooded. And with so many people in the building, they would always be able to find something to eat. If luck is on their side, they might just get through it in 2 months. But they went back. I glanced downstairs, and the entire community was submerged. People walking among it were like crossing a river. Once the heavy rain returns and the water rises, it will be difficult for them to come back. Last night was the best opportunity. They did seize the opportunity to come back, but now, they have left again. I stand on the balcony, staring at the family of 3 in the rain. They waded through ankle-deep rainwater, making their way to the villa area, feeling quite cozy. It was only after half an hour of the downpour that my parents and sister returned to the villa, and the rain started again. The local authorities issued a warning, stating that the Jianjiang River was rising rapidly and was about to overflow its banks. And the Jianjiang River is only about a kilometer away from our community. This river will become a grim reaper. In addition, the property management issued a warning, stating that the power outage was due to a circuit failure in the underground garage, and that some areas were leaking electricity, so everyone should avoid wading through the water. I was overjoyed. With the electricity leaking, who would dare to wade through the water? My parents and sister lost their last bit of initiative. They dared not leave the villa. Sure enough, my dad sent a voice message in the group, wife, you take our daughter to the 3rd floor first. Don't go down to the 1st floor where there's water. Who knows where there's electricity? Sigh. So annoying. When will this rain stop? I can't even cook noodles for my daughter. My mom was extremely frustrated. Then, the 3 of them started to criticize me again, calling me an idiot for not leaving the keys in the villa. I remained silent and started to prepare lunch. My supplies are abundant. I can create whatever I want. After eating and drinking to my fill, I bit into an apple, replenishing my vitamins, sweet and delicious. At this moment, the heavy rain had spiraled out of control. Countless raindrops the size of beans pounded against the window like stones, and the security bars made a thundering sound under the unbearable weight. It felt like hail was falling on the rooftop, and the ceiling could be pierced at any moment. But after all, rain is just rain. It can't penetrate my house. I glanced down at the community and found that the pool had overflowed. All the roads were completely submerged, and even the giraffe sculpture in the square was half submerged up to its legs. This indicates that the rainwater in the community is at least half a meter deep. What is this concept? Half a meter of water, combined with electric leakage, can be said to have completely sealed off the possibility of residents moving around. Residents can only move within their own buildings, while those in the villa area can only hide on the 3rd floor, waiting for the rain to stop. This is only the 2nd day of the heavy rain. I constantly observe the water level and find that it keeps rising. On the 5th day, the giraffe's back was submerged. On the 7th day, the giraffe's horns were submerged. On the 10th day, the giraffe floated on the water, caught between the branches of a tree. It was also on this day that a torrent swept in from the direction of the Jianjiang River. The entire neighborhood was in a state of panic, with many shouting, "Has the Jianjiang River breached its banks? Run to higher ground!" Water was everywhere. The whole city began to collapse, and everything started to lose order. I checked the security door and lay back on the sofa with peace of mind. The phone still has signal. I have to admire the country's infrastructure. Even after all this, it hasn't completely collapsed. In the family group chat, there was news after several days of silence. I found a power bank to charge my phone. What about you? I'm trapped on the 2nd floor balcony. It seems like the living room is leaking electricity. I'm too scared to move. My dad cares about his wife and daughter. Honey, we're hiding in the attic. Luckily, we brought the noodles with us. We won't starve eating them dry. How are you? My mom's voice was very weak, hoarse and unpleasant to hear. I found a bunch of rotten bananas floating by. We'll have to rely on them. My dad was equally weak. If they can last 10 days, it means their lives are worthless. Worthless lives are always hard to kill. Daddy, I'm so hungry. Boo-hoo, am I going to die? I can't take it anymore. Please go find me something to eat. Zhou was the most devastated. She had been pampered since childhood. How could she endure such suffering? My dad was so heartbroken that he cried. Don't cry, my good girl. I saw someone in the villa across the street. I'll ask for some food later. Do you really need to ask for food? Can't you just open your mouth and have it? I suddenly spoke up, while charging my power bank and tapping the food on the table. I was enjoying delicious food again. A steaming self-heating hot pot, shiny big chicken wings, sweet cola, and crisp red apples. The family group chat fell silent, then Zhou roared madly. Zhou, you bastard, where did you find the food? Bring it to me right now. Zhou, are you in the old house? Why didn't you open the door last time? Do you want to die or something? My mom also roared, yelling at Zhou like a madwoman. I didn't respond. Instead I recorded a video, eating and laughing. Family, just having a simple hot pot. Remember to like it. The video was sent to the group, triggering a chain reaction between Zhou and my mom. A barrage of extreme 60-second voice messages kept coming, but I didn't listen to a single one. Instead, my dad sent a text, Xiaoyu, everywhere is flooded now. The Jianjiang River has also breached its banks. You need to be careful and not go outside. Understand? It really takes a high-ranking executive. My dad's ability to manage people is truly effortless. This also reminds me of 3 years ago when my dad was hospitalized for 2 months. At that time, I was his caregiver, taking care of him day and night, so exhausted that I almost coughed up blood. My mom scolded me for being inconsiderate, which left me heartbroken and desperate. At that moment, I decided to run away from home and never come back. But my dad suddenly hugged me and said, Xiaoya, thank you for taking care of me. Dad is still very grateful to you. At that moment, I burst into tears, feeling noticed, and all my resentment vanished. I also decided not to run away from home and continue to be a hardworking and obedient slave. Looking back now, my dad is really impressive. He easily resolved my resentment, and I was still unaware of it. I got goosebumps, looking at my dad's concerned words, feeling unprecedentedly disgusted. Of course I won't go out. It was you who forced me to move back to the old apartment. I'm not going anywhere. I replied coldly. My dad sent a voice message. It's good that you're not going out. I'm really worried something might happen to you. By the way, the owners in our villa area are planning to save themselves. Some have kayaks. I saw them. He paused for a moment and continued. We're still worried about you living alone in the old house. We'll find a chance to take the kayak to the old house to check on you, so make sure to open the door. Hee, look, the weasel has shown its tail. Just as I was about to scold him, my mom gently expressed her concern. Xiaoya, this strange heavy rain is too dangerous. We need to be together as a family to look out for each other. So please be careful. Even Zhou sent a smile. Sister, wait for us. As a family reunited, we will be fine. No, who are you calling family? A cold smile curled at the corners of my mouth as I began to plot. If they really found the kayak, it would be easy to get it back. At that time, wading through water is not the problem, food is. The heavy rain lasted for 10 days, and everywhere there were sounds of hunger. The hallways were filled with residents wandering around, all seeking food. My parents and younger sister also had to find food, and the heavy rain would last for a full 2 months. After hunger, there would be the complexities of human nature, which could even lead to murder. I dare not imagine what the residential building would be like in chaos. My parents and sister returning to the residential building could pose a danger to me, but they themselves are also in danger. I thought quickly and made up my mind. As long as I can avoid danger myself, then the danger belongs to them. Since I can't stop them from coming back, I've decided to take a hard line. You guys are so nice. Come back quickly. I'll open the door for you anytime. I painted a big pie in the sky. Love you. My good girl, wait for us. Ha, of course I'll wait. Wait for you to die. After the agreement, the network was completely cut off. Now, with the water, electricity, and internet all stopped, the entire city had clearly collapsed. rescue efforts could not be deployed because the rain was too heavy and the water too deep, and there was still more than a month until the rain would stop. I put down my phone, took a moment to calm down, and went to the balcony to take a look at the neighboring house. The two balconies are quite close, making it possible to pass supplies, but it's unrealistic to get a person across. The security bars are a major obstacle. I ran through the possible scenarios in my mind and came up with a plan to deal with them. It is foreseeable that my parents and sister will definitely go crazy. In a desperate situation, I would definitely be exposed by them. The gaze of the entire building might be focused on me. This is the most dangerous, but I remain unflustered. Casually checking the supplies, feeling that no matter how much I eat, it won't be finished. Even if I eat all the good stuff, there are still sweet potatoes, radishes, and corn to gnaw on. So many bags, I wouldn't finish them even if I gnawed on them all day. Take a sip of cola and sleep soundly. 3 days later at noon, the heavy rain had stopped, leaving only a light drizzle. Many residents in the building were watching outside, hoping for rescue. As a result, a kayak appeared. Those with sharp eyes thought it was a rescue and shouted excitedly, "Someone's coming! Someone's coming! It's not the military, it's people from the villa area." Damn! I hugged my arms and took a look, recognizing my parents and sister. They are quite impressive. In just 3 days, they managed to get a kayak and rowed over here. It was clear that they were very excited, filled with the joy of having survived a disaster. Zhou Qin was still crying when they entered the residential building. Some people surrounded them, begging for food. Naturally, my parents had no food, and our dog, Teddy, was nowhere to be seen. My parents headed straight to the 30th floor with my sister. Many people followed them, all of them driven mad by hunger. The sound of knocking on the door echoed as my dad knocked with all his might. "Xiaoya, Dad is here, open the door quickly." He was out of breath, feeling like he might starve to death at any moment. This time, I didn't pretend I wasn't home. Instead, I quickly ran over, grabbed the doorknob, pretended to twist it, and added a crying tone, "Dad, Mom, the door lock is broken. I've tried so many times. I can't open it." "What, can't open it? You little," cough, "Xiaoya, try again. It might be that the moisture has corroded it. Just try again." My dad held back his anger. My mom urged, "Xiaoya, hurry and open the door. Your sister has a fever." "I remember there are antipyretics at home. I really can't open it. I'm so anxious." "Can't you just break it down?" I continued to cry. My dad's anger flared up instantly, shouting furiously, "You useless thing, what good are you?" After saying that, he slammed into the door with all his might. But the door didn't budge, and instead, it hurt his shoulder. Mom also helped by banging on the door, and after she finished, she scolded me, "Try again, open it for me." I tried again, but I just couldn't open it. At this moment, there was a cacophony of voices outside. Clearly a lot of neighbors had come. I took the initiative to involve them, uncles and aunties. "I have food at home. Why don't you all try banging on the door together to loosen the lock a bit?" A group of people immediately became excited and began to bang on the door. But the high-level anti-theft iron door punishes the shoulders of everyone. Everyone cried out in pain, unable to do anything about the anti-theft door. I anxiously pretended to cry, sobbing just as disgustingly as Zhou Qin. Zhou Qin was disgusted with me and scolded, "Zhou, you are completely useless. I'm starving and have a fever, and you just can't open the door, you plague." She was almost delirious from the fever, but when she scolded me, she was completely clear-headed. My dad was worried again and gave me a stern order, "You little beast, you have 1 minute. If you can't open the door, I'll make you pay." That's how my dad is. He always likes to use intimidation. Regardless of whether it's reasonable or not, who can he press against through the door now? I continued to cry. "I really can't open it. I could still twist it a bit before, but after being hit, it's completely jammed, and I can't turn it at all." As soon as I said this, the two neighbors who were still trying were too scared to hit it anymore. They were afraid that hitting it more would make it even harder to open. Many neighbors lifted their feet and left, unwilling to waste their energy here. I chuckled to myself, knowing that the biggest crisis had been cleverly avoided, but soon, the crisis came again. Zhou Qin suddenly exclaimed, "We can go to the next room and have Zhou Yu pass us food through the balcony." the room 3002 next door has never been sold, and even the security door hasn't been installed. When I felt wronged in the past, I liked to hide in there. Shou-chin loved to call me from the balcony at home. "Dear sister, come over quickly, I have food for you." She would use a stick to reach out food to me from the balcony of room 3001. I reached out to take it, but she would suddenly pull the stick back, smiling as she said, "Don't be in a hurry, dogs should thank their owner before eating, right? Bark a couple of times." I lowered my head, holding back tears, and softly barked. If I didn't do this, she would definitely retaliate against me, and my situation would only get worse. "Haha, that sounds nice, but it's too quiet, and your posture is off. You need to lie down like a dog and wag your tail while barking." Shou-chin can only see my head. If I lie down, she won't be able to see me, but she wants to toy with me like this. I refused, but she wasn't angry. Instead, she gently instructed, "Sister, I'm just playing with you. I just wanted to try feeding a dog, so, can you lean your head a bit closer? I'll feed you, and you can take the treat." "Okay." I was really too hungry, so I leaned my head a little closer. Shou-chin gritted her teeth and struck my head hard with the stick in both hands. "Ha! Smash your dog head." Amid Shou-chin's laughter, I was left dizzy from the blow. A large bump forming on my forehead, crying uncontrollably. Yet Shou-chin continued to laugh endlessly on the balcony. The balcony is my nightmare, but it is her playground. She is too familiar with the balconies of both houses, so, when I couldn't open the door, she immediately thought of the balcony. When Mom and Dad heard this, they were overjoyed and quickly urged, "Shou-yu, take the food to the balcony and find a way to send it over." They pulled Shou-chin and jogged over to the neighboring balcony. Seeing this, the neighbors all followed suit. Soon, the neighboring balcony was in an uproar, with a dozen people crowding to look over at me, while another group was unable to squeeze in. They looked like a group of geese stretching their necks. There are quite a few familiar faces, including Aunt Wang from room 3003 and Uncle Zhao from room 2901. Seeing them, my constantly vigilant heart relaxed a little. In fact, I have had moments of happiness over the years, like when I was being beaten. Aunt Wang would come over to plead with my dad to stop hitting me. Uncle Zhao's family grows watermelons, and occasionally he would send some to my family. If he saw me home alone, he would let me sneak one to eat first, so that I wouldn't miss out when my parents came back. These inconspicuous little things can make me happy for a long time. Perhaps, I just need to guide a little, and we neighbors won't fall into extremes. Then I can avoid potential dangers. "Shou-yu, what are you looking at? Hurry up and pass the food over." My dad, annoyed by my delay, stretched his neck and shouted. My mom swallowed hard while stroking Shou-chin's head. "The fever medicine will be here soon. Your sister has had a high fever for 2 days. Shou-chin's face was unusually flushed, looking completely drained of energy. However, when it came to me, she had plenty of strength. She pointed to the drying rack over here. "Shou-yu, use that. Quickly bring food and ibuprofen, right now, immediately." She habitually bossed people around, just like a dog can't change its nature. I nodded and waited. I went to move out a box of instant noodles and a box of mineral water. A group of people, upon seeing this, had their eyes turning green with envy, jostling each other, saliva dripping. They were starving mad. Shou-chin shouted like a flash of light, "Quick, give it to me." She stretched out her hand, letting the rain wash over her. I tied a pack of instant noodles to the clothes rack, reached out, and hit Shou-chin's hand with a stick. Her arms were so thin and tender that I hit them with a stick, causing them to swell, and she cried out in pain. "Ah, what are you doing?" Mom and Dad were also shocked, their faces turning pale as they scolded me. "Shou-yu, have you gone mad? Why are you hitting your sister? She isn't in line. There's only one box of instant noodles and one box of mineral water. Everyone needs to queue, and families with elderly and children have priority." I spoke seriously, taking on the role of a savior, and began to guide. Everyone was taken aback, then immediately filled with joy. At this time, although many people are quite hungry, the evil of human nature has not yet been exposed. Some act as saviors, and everyone will listen to them. My idea is simple. Don't let everyone go to extremes. After all, it's just 2 months of heavy rain. Give them some food, and it will pass. 2 months later, it was a new beginning in life. I interacted with the neighbors day and night, and I was friendly whenever possible. Moreover, most ordinary people are kind-hearted, and many have treated me well, standing up for me. I have no need to watch them die or go mad. Xiaoya, thank you, Auntie. My mother has always been weak and has gone several days without food. Could you please give me a bag of flour? Aunt Wang from room 3003 wiped her tears as she looked at me, not pushing forward, without a second thought. I handed over the instant noodles. Everyone gets a share. This is for Aunt Wang, so don't fight over it. The crowd restrained their desire to reach out and all made way for Aunt Wang. I felt a sense of relief. Everyone was still rational and worth guiding. Unexpectedly, my mom suddenly leaned in and snatched the noodles, holding them tightly to her chest. This is my family's instant noodles. I won't give it to anyone. You all get lost. She fiercely protected the noodles. Her face full of ferocity. Zhou Qin also shouted, "This is my family's noodles. You all get out of the way. It's for Aunt Wang from Xiaoya. How can you be unreasonable?" Old Zhao led the charge, and everyone condemned them. My dad, with a dark face, shouted angrily, "That shameless Zhou Yu wants to be the good person, but I won't. The noodles are mine. Let's see who dares to snatch them." My dad is tall and strong, and he's a wealthy man. Usually, no one dares to provoke him, but now life is at stake, and everyone is starving. Who would indulge him? Several big men squeezed over. Zhou Guohua, what the hell are you being so arrogant for? You beat Zhou Yu every day. Who doesn't know you're biased? Now you say Zhou Yu is your daughter. My daughter. If you want to hit her, go ahead. It's none of your business. My dad remained arrogant. A neighbor couldn't take it anymore and pushed him, just as he was about to fight back. My mom shouted, "Zhou Yu has a whole box of noodles. Do you really need to fight over this one pack, old Zhou? Let's step back and let them take the noodles." My mom is really clever. Seeing that my dad was about to be beaten up, she quickly retreated. My dad also realized what was happening and quickly picked up Zhou Qin and stepped back. The family of three exited to the balcony and squatted in the corner eating instant noodles, and Wang wiped her tears, looking at me pitifully. A group of people was also looking at me. Most of them familiar faces. Their family had elderly people and children. Some were elderly themselves, holding babies. I thought for a moment and went back holding instant noodles. Everyone panicked, and Aunt Wang cried even harder. My dad laughed heartily. "I told you to help Zhou Yu speak, and now she can't even defend herself. Do you know why we hit Zhou Yu? She's just a worthless person. It's not too much to beat her to death." My mom fanned the flames. Zhou Qin's mouth was full of instant noodle crumbs as she seduced the crowd. "My sister is really bad at heart. Don't be fooled by her appearance." Before she finished speaking, I came out holding a bag of self-heating meals, a total of 10 portions. Then I took out a large bag of beef jerky and a basin of washed sweet potatoes. Everyone's eyes widened, drooling uncontrollably. In disbelief, my parents were dumbfounded and squeezed forward, saying, "Zhou Yu, you, so much. Xiao Yu, don't just give these things away. Let us help you collect them." "Sister, I want to eat a self-heating meal. Hurry up and give me one. Hurry up." The three of us were about to go crazy with excitement. I scanned the crowd and calmly said, "Aside from my parents and sister, everyone else can share this food. I'm not doing it for any other reason, but to thank you all for your care towards me. Many of you have treated me well. I have 2 plans for distributing food. One is to repay kindness, because many of the neighbors have indeed been very good to me, allowing me to feel a touch of warmth. The second is to prevent unrest. After all, I am the center of attention now. Everyone knows that my family has food. Once extreme situations arise and people start starving to death, many will lose their sanity, and I will definitely become the target of their anger, even if they can't break through my door. What will I do 2 months later when life returns to normal? Therefore, there is really no need to isolate myself and watch others suffer. It's not really the end of the world. Of course, I would be happy to watch my family suffer. "Xiaoya, are you really willing to give this to us?" Aunt Wang cried uncontrollably. Old Zhao was so excited that his face turned red. "Xiaoya, I really didn't misjudge you. You didn't eat my melon for nothing." I laughed out loud and began to make arrangements. My food is also limited, so everyone needs to plan reasonably. 10 self-heating lunch boxes should be distributed to the frail elderly and children. As for the beef jerky and sweet potatoes, everyone gets one portion, and each person also gets a bottle of mineral water. I looked at Grandpa Zhao. Grandpa Zhao, you take charge of the distribution. All right, I often divide things, so I'm the most suitable for this, Grandpa Zhao said without hesitation. I immediately set about sending things over. My parents and younger sister were furious and wanted to curse, but everyone else didn't indulge them and pushed them to the sidelines. After a flurry of activity, things were gradually passed over. There are the most sweet potatoes. We still have plenty at home. Enough for many people to eat. Everyone was in high spirits, laughter echoing, as if the heavy rain outside had already stopped. In the end, I clapped my hands and finished. A group of people gradually left, and Aunt Wang was the last to go. She handed me a lollipop, a bit embarrassed to explain. Xiaoya, I still have food, just this candy. I've been reluctant to eat it, so I'm giving it to you. I took it and started eating it right away. Aunt Wang left with a smile. Now it's just my parents and my sister left. My dad has always been domineering, but just now, with everyone so spirited, he didn't dare to intervene. Now that everyone is gone, he pointed at me and scolded, "You wasteful thing, you divided all this food. Are you out of your mind?" Exactly. Even if it's just to take the opportunity to sell, there are people who would buy a sweet potato for $100. Zhou Qin was still hungry and had a persistent high fever. She ordered me again. Quick. Give me ibuprofen. What do you care about others? I'm your sister. Is it my sister now? I glanced at them, went inside, and locked the window. My parents and sister were screaming in anger next door, cursing wildly, constantly kicking the wall, and then they went to kick the door, but I paid them no mind. Soon, they were exhausted and hungry, cursed me a couple of times, and collapsed next door to rest. I guess I need to rest enough before continuing to curse. I glanced out the window. The sky was dark and gloomy, with constant flashes of lightning and thunder, as if the heavens had torn a hole, and the Milky Way was pouring down, terrifying. From today onwards, everyone in our building should slowly head towards madness and extremity, but I pulled it back. I counted the food. It would be enough for 2 months. There are simply too many sweet potatoes, radishes, and corn, and these are enough to ensure that no one starves. I allocated it first because I knew that there would definitely be people coming to beg for food. Even a single radish could save a life. After distributing the food, I fell asleep peacefully. Early the next morning, I heard my dad calling me. Xiaoya, we were wrong. Can we have some food? My dad has finally come to his senses again. After a night of torment, he finally softened his tongue. Mom and my sister's voices softened as they called me from the balcony. Xiaoya, come out. We actually love you, really. They even say love so hollowly. However, I admire Zhou Qin. Despite having a high fever, she hasn't fainted yet. I brushed my teeth and washed up, chewing on some jerky as I went out to take a look. My dad wiped away a tear. Xiaoya, you finally came out. Dad thought for a long time last night. I really am sorry for you. Yes, we were too biased, always thinking your sister is lively and cute, while you are dull and sluggish. But if we think about it carefully, you have contributed so much to the family over the years. My mom pressed her lips together and praised me. Zhou Qin wanted to argue back, but held it in. She gasped, her voice weak. Sister, I was wrong. I always bullied you. Please save me. I need medicine. I continued to chew on the jerky. A pregnant woman with a big belly suddenly came over, supported by Aunt Wang. I recognized this pregnant woman. She was my elementary school teacher, the best person to me. Once, when I was beaten, I hid at her house, and she helped me block my parents. As a result, my parents went to the school to cause a scene, which almost made her lose her job. Xiaoya, Teacher Qin has a high fever, and her husband is stuck at the TV station and can't come back. And Wang looked at me cautiously. Teacher Qin was panting, holding her stomach in discomfort, and apologetically said, "Zhou Yu, I heard you have medicine. I'm so sorry. I really can't help it." I turned around to get the medicine. A bottle of ibuprofen was given entirely to Teacher Qin. Teacher Qin was overwhelmed with joy and cried, but Zhou Qin suddenly erupted with strength and snatched it away. She clutched the ibuprofen, her face almost twisted in anger as she cursed at me. Show you. Are you even human? I'm your sister, and you won't save me, but you save outsiders. She twisted the cap open and was about to drink. As a result, Aunt Wang snatched it back again. My parents saw this and kicked Aunt Wang away. Taking the ibuprofen, Teacher Qin was quite frightened and stepped back. At this moment, Zhou Qin picked up a stone from the ground and smashed it onto Teacher Qin's head. Bitch, get lost. Ibuprofen belongs to my family. It's mine. Teacher Qin was caught off guard and was hit. Bleeding profusely from his head, startled, he fell to the ground, blood flowing from between his legs. I changed my expression and shouted, Aunt Wang, go find someone. Teacher Qin is bleeding. Aunt Wang had her eyes swollen from being hit by my dad, but she was very clever, running outside and shouting, help, someone, quick. Many people rushed over, and upon seeing Teacher Qin bleeding profusely, they hurried to help. A doctor also ran over. It must be a premature birth. Everyone step aside. I will assist with the delivery. The crowd gathered, and Aunt Wang rubbed her eyes, pointing at my dad. Quick, get the ibuprofen back. Teacher Qin still has a high fever. The ibuprofen is mine, mine. Zhou Qin shrieked, snatching back the ibuprofen and wanting to take it again. A few big men exchanged glances and gritted their teeth as they moved to reclaim it. My dad immediately got into a fight with them, but his fists were no match for their numbers. And he was knocked down after just a few punches. Ibuprofen is lost again. Zhou Qin broke down in anger. Dad, get it back, you useless old man. I'm about to die. My dad collapsed on the ground bleeding. How could he still fight? He was also shocked by Zhou Qin's words, holding his head in disbelief. Zhou Qin, are you scolding me? What's wrong with scolding you? You old fool are of no use. You can't get the medicine, and you can't find food. I'm going to die. Do you know that? Zhou Qin cursed loudly and picked up a stone to throw at my dad. My mom was also shocked, holding down Zhou Qin and scolding, how can you be like this? We tried our best. Go die, all of you go die. I'm so miserable, boo-hoo, all of you go die. I don't want parents like you useless people. Zhou Qin completely broke down. She could no longer bear it. A bottle of ibuprofen brought her back to her true self. Mom and Dad's faces turned pale, as if they had aged decades in an instant. Losing all strength, Teacher Qin's child was saved. However, a premature baby has a very difficult time surviving in such an environment. The doctors can only do their utmost. I went to get 10 boxes of self-heating rice, plus a bag of apples and 5 portions of beef jerky, all for Teacher Qin. As for the others, they could only get sweet potatoes, but no one rushed to grab anything. Grandpa Zhao distributed it very well. The atmosphere was warm and harmonious. Zhou Qin huddled in the corner, starting to shiver from the cold. She was almost delirious from the fever. Mom and Dad sat weakly, their eyes vacant as they stared at the supplies, lacking the energy even to fight for them. I no longer glanced at them, went inside, closed the window, and lived my own little doomsday life. Days passed, and the heavy rain continued for a whole month. Thanks to my food, there has never been a riot in this building. Even if each family can only get 1 sweet potato, no one will riot. As long as there is something to eat, there is hope to get through. After all, the experts said that the heavy rain will only last for 2 months. This is a date that can be seen ahead. Just hold on for another month, and there will be hope. Everyone clung to this belief, fiercely battling against the torrential rain. A month and a half later, the rainwater reached the 15th floor. This is an exaggerated phenomenon. One could say that the entire city is almost submerged. Fortunately, our building remained sturdy, providing us with a rare shelter. That morning, the rain had stopped again. I calculated that today we would distribute the rations. I usually send 5 days' worth of food all at once, leaving it to Grandpa Zhao to distribute. Now, it's time to distribute the grain again. Early in the morning, I packed the corn into small bags, preparing to send them over one by one. The sweet potatoes and radishes have all been distributed, and the rest of the food is about 60% gone, but there are only half a month left. The rain will stop soon. Everything is developing according to my plan, including the supply of food. The moment I stepped out onto the balcony, I heard a weak sobbing sound from next door. I was taken aback. Has someone come this early? Turning my head, I saw it was my mom. She lay alone on the balcony, her hair a tangled mess, her whole body dirty, looking like a homeless person. Her face was as pale as paper, her eyes murky, with only the last glimmer of light remaining. She reached out to me. "Shall you save me, Mom? No one is willing to give Mom anything to eat during these days. My parents and younger sister are still alive. The reason is simple, the neighbors couldn't bear to watch them starve to death, so any leftover food, like sweet potato peels or corn cobs, would be given to my parents and sister." Teacher Chin even shared a bit of ibuprofen with my sister to help her get through the high fever. However, a huge crisis emerged in the relationship of my sister's family of 3. They no longer stuck together. Most of the time, it was just the younger sister acting alone, going around begging for food. Mom and Dad rarely appeared. I heard they would go out in a kayak to forage for food. I didn't pay much attention, living my own life, just being a good savior. "Where are your husband and daughter?" I stretched lazily, not looking at Mom, carefully counting the number of corn kernels. Mom's lips trembled. "The kayak capsized. I saw it. I was watching your dad go out in the hallway. He found a suitcase in the water and wanted to go retrieve it, but the kayak capsized." My mom spoke, her body starting to shake. "He's dead, gone." A strange shock ran through my heart, and I couldn't describe what I felt, but I didn't cry. Not a single tear, because that man was no longer my father. If it weren't for living this life again, my corpse would have rotted in the basement, and the last thing I would have seen was that man's resolute and cold back. "Show you. Are you satisfied? You could have saved us, yet you watched us die with your eyes wide open." My mother saw that I had no reaction, and her emotions suddenly became intense. "Are you even human? Do you have a heart?" "Of course I have a heart. It's just been suffocated by you all," I responded indifferently. "Do you remember the big fire 3 years ago? Dad carried my sister, you ran out holding the dog, and left me in the house. It was Uncle Zhao who saved me." Listening to my words, my mother was left speechless, her expression shifting unpredictably. "This scene is all too common, whether it's a fire or a move. You never see me in your eyes." I scoffed. "Am I the one watching you die? Or have you always wished for my death? You?" Mom's body went limp, collapsing to the ground. In the next moment, she burst into tears, gripping her hair tightly. Stop talking. I was wrong. We were biased. We deserve to die. Xiaoye, we should die. I'm sorry. Please forgive me." "Mom can't go on living." Before she finished crying out, Zhou Qin surprisingly leaned against the wall and moved over. Seeing her mother wailing, she spat. "You useless old thing. You're still not dead. Get out of the way." Her mother trembled, as if the last drop of blood in her life had been drained away, sitting there in a daze. Zhou Qin ignored her and moved to the balcony, smiling at me ingratiatingly. "Sister, I finally waited for you to show up. Can you give me something to eat this time? I will listen to you from now on." "Really?" Zhou Qin came to beg me again. She had become so thin that she was hardly recognizable, her cheeks resembling the dry bark of a tree, waxy and rough. I calmly shook my head. Her expression changed, but she no longer dared to scold me. She knelt down directly, raised her butt, and barked. "Woof woof, I am a dog. Please give me something to eat." "Sister." She was ugly and comical, but I didn't laugh. This scene was something she used to force me to do when she played tricks on me. I didn't do it, but she did. Hunger can really change a person, unfortunately. Zhou Qin's nature hasn't changed. She has been spoiled by her parents beyond redemption. "Your father is dead. Do you know that?" I asked Zhou Qin. Zhou Qin was taken aback and asked in confusion, "What does this have to do with me? I just want food." Her mother trembled beside her, suddenly going mad as she hugged Zhou Qin tightly. "You devil, you are the one who deserves to die the most. Your sister is not a worthless person. Not an ungrateful wolf, you are." Her mother was already exhausted, but somehow found the strength to hold on to Zhou Qin, desperately trying to drag her outside. Outside the balcony was a raging sea of death. Zhou Qin couldn't react at all. She was too weak and unprepared for her mother. By the time she let out a scream, her frail body had already tumbled over the railing with her mother, both falling down together. "Aw, aw." The final scream was accompanied by a sudden crack of thunder. And the morning sky was a ghastly red like blood. I stood there in a daze, unable to express what I was feeling, until Uncle Zhao brought someone over. They had no idea what was happening, they only saw me standing there in a daze. "Xiao Yu, what's wrong? Is there no food?" "It's okay, we can make do with a single ear of corn between the two families." Uncle Zhao was full of spirit, he was the backbone, always maintaining his resolve. I shook my head and smiled, just as I expected. It's enough. Once again, the food was divided, and the end of the world life continued. In this suffering and torment, every second is a trial. Of course, I am the exception. I took a cold shower, lay on the warm bed, thought about many things, and finally closed my eyes, wiping the corners of my eyes. There were no tears in the corners of my eyes. Half a month later, the rain finally stopped. This time the rain stopped was different, because the dark clouds dispersed and the sunlight shone in. After 2 months, people finally touched the warm sunlight. The cries in the hallway were overwhelming. Many were so emotional and hungry that they fainted. I looked at the sun, and for no reason, tears streamed down my face. It was as if emotions that had been suppressed for 2 months, no, for 18 years, burst forth. I survived. I have come back to life. 2 hours later, the sound of helicopters circling above the city echoed. People ran to the rooftop, waving their hands and shouting loudly. 3 hours later, the rainwater receded like a tide, revealing traces of the 20th, 15th, and 10th floors. 5 hours later, lifeboats appeared in the vast ocean, and loudspeakers continuously broadcasted a resonant sound. I walked to the door and slowly opened the security door. Just then, Uncle Zhao, Aunt Wang, and Teacher Qin came up to find me, and they all froze for a moment when they saw me. Okay. The door can be opened now, Nizi. Quickly give Aunt a hug." Aunt Wang held me tightly, tears streaming down her face once again. Old Zhao, who is usually full of energy, is now utterly exhausted, but his face is filled with smiles. "Xiaoya, we came up to inform you that everyone has discussed and reached a consensus regarding your parents and sister. If the police ask, just say they were out on a kayak and then went missing. Everyone will say the same." Uncle Zhao patted my shoulder. Teacher Qin added, "As for other matters, just tell the truth. You are our savior, by the way. Why do you have so much food? Just say you were abused by your parents, that you have a collecting habit, and only want to hoard things, then ended up alone during the heavy rain." I was taken aback, then smiled brightly. Good. Half a year later, dawn illuminated the city, and everything returned to a semblance of normalcy. The police really came to question me. After all, they need to count the death toll, since the people in our building had coordinated their statements in advance. My answers were seamless. Actually, it wouldn't matter much if I told the truth. It just sounds morally bad. But what if I have no morals? Without morals, life is much happier. They are too biased, only having eyes for my 15-year-old sister. Even the dog she raises is more precious than I am. I no longer have to live cautiously under my parents' watchful eyes and my sister's bullying. I am free and easy, sleeping in a big bed, taking hot showers, and enjoying delicious food. Indeed, without morals, life is much happier. I even specifically cleaned the basement of the villa 3 times, and then sealed it off. I don't like it here. As for the rest of the villa, I like it very much, including the swing, hanging basket, study, and piano room that my parents specially prepared for my sister. Everything in the villa is basically prepared for my sister. Oh, and there was a doghouse. But unfortunately, Teddy, you must have died in the rainwater. Actually, I really like dogs too. Whenever I touched AU, my sister would take the opportunity to complain and scold me for being unworthy to touch a dog. Mom and Dad would side with her, keeping me away from AU. Now, I have bought a golden retriever myself, named Yuxing. Yuxing and I are starting a new life together, rebirth after the rain.